It's no wonder that so many stories about our ancestors have been lost. Who wants to remember all that pain? Tom Joyner's paternal grandmother, Ruth Griffin, was born in South Carolina in 1897. Why she fled South Carolina has long been shrouded in mystery.
Now, Ruth Griffin, your grandmama, had been born and raised in Blackstock, South Carolina. And her family owned land there. Did you know that?
I don't know anything about her background.
Well,
all I know is she left home like he did, and she ended up in Florida, and she didn't stay in touch with her people either.
Well, her family not only owned land, Tom, they owned 130 acres.
They had 130 acres right outside of Columbia?
130 acres outside of Columbia, South Carolina. But do you know why your grandmother moved away?
No.
From a place where they owned so much land and had such deep roots?
I have no idea.
According to the 1930 census, the Griffins had disappeared from Blackstock, South Carolina. Now, we know that Ruth moved to Florida, but what happened to the rest of the family? Two of her brothers were named Meeks and Tom Griffin.
I'm going to show you their death certificates.
Richmond County, Columbia, Meeks Griffin, male, colored, no date of birth, date of death, 1915, September 29.
What's it say?
Legal electrocution. Cause of death, they electrocuted my?
Yep. We discovered that in 1913, your great-uncles, along with 3 other men, were charged with killing a Confederate Civil War veteran, a white man named John Lewis.
Pop said something about that he knew that her brother or her brothers had some problems and that she left.
The entire Griffin family, your mama's family, picked up and left South Carolina. And the life that they built, all that land, they just split.
And what happened to the land?
Well, they had to sell the land to pay for the lawyer to defend your great-uncles.
The execution of Tom Joyner's great-uncles could have remained a lost chapter in his family history. The trial transcripts had disappeared. Witnesses were dead. The newspaper said they had committed the crime, a robbery that ended in murder at John Lewis's isolated home. Then, our research produced a major discovery about the case. Buried in the state archives, we found a treasure trove of information, the documents that built the case for the brothers' appeal.
And the more we looked into the case, Tom, the more questions we had. So we discovered that the defense only had 2 days to prepare for the trial. There's no way that your 2 great-uncles could have prepared a defense in so short a time. But essentially, the moment that your great-uncles, Meeks and Tom, were accused of the murder, they were powerless to defend themselves.
An all-white jury deliberated for less than 2 hours before sentencing Tom and Meeks Griffin, along with 2 other black men, to death. During the trial, the principal witness for the state was a man named John Monk Stevenson. He was arrested in connection with the murder, but turned state's evidence, apparently in exchange for a life sentence. During the appeals process, Stevenson's credibility came under fire. In prison, he bragged to another inmate about why he pinned the blame on Tom's great uncles.
But I changed my mind and put it on these 4, because some of them was the richest Negroes in that country and had the money to pay for their lives. And I had borrowed the gun from one of them the day before old man Lewis was killed.
Now, this statement could mean that Stevenson named Tom and Meeks is because he thought they had the money to defend themselves.
Because they had all this land.
But it could also mean, Tom, that Stevenson resented your great uncles because they had so much money, because they had status in the community. And he said, by damn, if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna send them niggas down.
Wow. Wait till Pops hears this.
On a late September day in 1915, Tom Joyner's great uncles were put to death along with 3 other black men.
5 Negroes killed in the electric chair with protestations of innocence on their lips. 5 Negroes, Meeks Griffin, Tom Griffin, John Crosby, Nelson Bryce, and Joe Malloy were electrocuted at the state penitentiary this morning for murder.